Most cars start falling apart the moment the warranty runs out. Repair bills stack up, resale value tanks, and dealerships count on you not knowing any better. But there's a small group of cars built different. Machines mechanics describe as impossible to kill, still running strong long after everyone else gave up and headed to the junkyard. Today we're counting down 20 cars that prove real reliability isn't dead, every single one available for under $8,000. We're not doing this in a predictable straight line either. Cheap tricks, hidden badge engineering secrets, and one taxi that refused to die at 400,000 miles are all buried somewhere in this list. And wait until you see what's sitting at number 1, a car so overbuilt it regularly outlives luxury sedans costing 5 times more. Let's get into it. Number 1, 2006 to 2012 Ford Fusion. Here's a number that should surprise you. Consumer Reports has flagged this generation of Ford Fusion as one of the most dependable American sedans ever built, right alongside cars from brands with far better reputations. That's not a fluke. This Fusion was built on a Mazda-engineered platform, meaning it inherited genuinely sturdy mechanical bones instead of the typical mid-2000s Detroit shortcuts. Because the platform shares components across multiple brands, most repairs stay under $300. One tip worth knowing, stick to 4-cylinder trims if you can find them, since they're simpler and cheaper to maintain than the V6. For buyers on a tight budget, that combination of low purchase price and low repair costs changes everything. It's proof an American badge can absolutely earn a spot on a reliability list this early, but we're not staying domestic for long. Next up is a compact everyone knows the name of, but almost nobody realizes just how tough the engine actually is. Number 2, 2006 to 2011 Honda Civic. Picture a Civic with over 280,000 miles on the odometer, still starting on the first crank every single morning. That's not a rare unicorn, it's a common story in Civic owner forums from this generation. Honda's 4-cylinder engines here were engineered with wide margins for error, meaning they tolerate delayed oil changes and skipped maintenance that would strand most other economy cars. On top of that mechanical toughness, this Civic regularly clears 34 miles per gallon on the highway while still feeling genuinely fun behind the wheel, with steering response that embarrasses cars twice its price. There's one thing worth checking before you buy. Some 2006 through 2009 models had engine block issues that led to warranty replacements, so avoid unverified examples and review service records first. Handle that one check and you're left with about as close to bulletproof as a budget commuter gets. Coming up, a full-size cruiser hiding an engine mechanics still talk about with genuine respect. Toyota Grand Highlander. On paper, the Toyota Grand Highlander should have been untouchable. 3 rows of space, the Toyota name, glowing early reviews. For a while, that's exactly what it delivered. Demand ran so high that dealers slapped brutal markups on the sticker price, sometimes thousands over MSRP, and shoppers paid it anyway because they trusted the badge. Then came the disaster nobody saw coming. A critical front airbag issue triggered a recall so severe that Toyota had to halt deliveries entirely. Families who'd already paid that inflated price were left without their vehicles for months, watching a brand new SUV sit untouched at a dealership while the payments kept coming. Imagine paying $5,000 over sticker for a vehicle, then being told you can't take it home with no clear timeline. That's not a minor inconvenience. That's your money frozen indefinitely. Toyota's reliability reputation is the exact reason people paid the markup in the first place. This recall is the reason so many of them regret it. But here's the twist. The next SUV on this list wasn't ruined by bad engineering. Infiniti QX60. The Infiniti QX60 is sold as a luxury 3-row SUV, badge, price tag, and all. But peel back the marketing and drivers will tell you what it really is. A Nissan Pathfinder wearing a nicer suit. That's not our opinion. That's what actual owners keep saying in review after review, and the financial reality backs them up hard. A $55,000 QX60 can lose nearly 30% of its value in the very first year, dropping to around $38,000. That's enough lost value to buy a brand new Honda Civic outright, gone in 12 months. On top of that, the 9-speed automatic transmission has a well-documented habit of shifting jerkily at low speeds, the exact opposite of the smooth ride buyers expect when they're paying luxury money. Picture creeping through a parking garage in a vehicle that cost you $55,000, and it lurches like a driving school car. That disconnect between price and experience is where the regret sets in. You paid for prestige, you got a bumpy commute and a resale value in free fall. A Dodge Hornet. The Dodge Hornet exists because Stellantis needed something anything to fill a gap in the lineup. So they took an Alfa Romeo platform, wrapped it in Dodge styling, and hoped American shoppers wouldn't notice the identity crisis underneath. They noticed. Dealer lots are flooded with unsold Hornets, and that oversupply is crushing resale values before these SUVs even have a chance to build a track record. Drivers who financed one are already underwater, owing more than the vehicle is worth, sometimes within months of driving it off the lot. The hybrid models bring their own money pit, constant check engine lights that send owners back to the service department again and again, often for issues technicians struggle to fully diagnose. A vehicle built from borrowed parts, sold to a fan base that wanted something authentically Dodge, now sitting unsold nationwide. That's a recipe for a depreciation disaster, and the early buyers are the ones absorbing the loss. If a European badge in disguise sounds bad, wait until you meet an SUV that looks like a rugged off-roader, but be Hyundai Santa Fe, 2025 to 2026. Massive design risk with the redesigned Santa Fe, going bold and boxy, chasing that rugged Land Rover-inspired look. Visually, it worked. Critics loved the new shape, but underneath that striking exterior is where the story falls apart. Early adopters are flooding owner forums with complaints about the dual clutch transmission, the same DCT design that's caused headaches for Hyundai and Kia before. Drivers describe hesitation, clunky shifts, and in worse cases, outright failures that require a trip back to the dealer. Here's the why. Dual clutch transmissions are built for quick, efficient shifts under ideal conditions, but they struggle in the stop-and-go traffic most commuters actually drive in every day. Layer on random software resets, the infotainment system rebooting mid-drive, climate controls freezing, and you've got a vehicle that looks like it belongs in a luxury lineup but behaves like an unfinished prototype. Consumer Reports has flagged first-year redesigns from Hyundai before for exactly this kind of teething problem, and the Santa Fe is following that same pattern. Volkswagen ID4. Volkswagen wanted the ID4 to be its answer to Tesla, a flagship electric SUV that felt modern and connected. Instead, drivers say it feels like a rolling smartphone that crashes at the worst possible moment. The software glitches so often it feels like Windows Vista on wheels. But the real damage shows up in one brutal statistic. Less than 45% of ID4 owners say they'd buy one again. Barely more than 4 out of 10 owners are happy enough with their purchase to repeat it. The reason comes down to one specific maddening design choice. Unlit, laggy touch sliders for volume and climate control, buried in a dark cabin with zero backlighting. Picture fumbling for these controls at night, sliding a finger back and forth, waiting for the system to catch up, all while trying to keep your eyes on the road. It's a small feature that creates a daily frustration for as long as you own the car. Volkswagen tried to out-tech the competition and ended up number 8. 2007 to 2011 Honda CR-V. A used car inspector told a buyer looking at a CR-V with 190,000 miles on it, "Don't worry about the mileage, worry about whether the diff fluid's been changed." That one piece of advice sums up this entire vehicle. This generation consistently earned top safety pick recognition, and that combination of crash protection and dependable mechanicals is exactly why it became a go-to recommendation for families on a budget. There is one specific maintenance item worth flagging. The rear differential fluid needs to be changed on schedule, or owners can develop an annoying, low-speed groaning noise from the rear end. It's a cheap, roughly $80 fix that too many owners skip simply because they don't know about it. Handle that one service item and you're left with an SUV that just keeps delivering safe, dependable, low-drama transportation year after year. Next up, a Toyota with a cargo floor so low it changes how you load your gear. Number 9. 2006 to 2010 Toyota RAV4. Both the 2.4 liter and 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engines in this generation of RAV4 have earned reputations for running well past 220,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance. Most compact SUV buyers from this era assume they're choosing between cargo space and a capable all-wheel drive system, expecting to sacrifice one for the other. The RAV4 doesn't make you choose. It offers a genuinely massive cargo area with a low load floor that makes loading heavy items painless, paired with a 4-wheel drive system that owners in snowy climates trust year after year. One tip here, skip the third row seat option. It eats cargo space and isn't worth it unless you need 7 seats. This is a Toyota built during the brand's peak reliability era, before some of the more complicated hybrid systems and turbocharged engines added new failure points to later generations. It's a straightforward, mechanically honest SUV, and that honesty honesty is exactly why it holds its value so well on the used market. Up next, a Ford that trades complexity for something almost any home mechanic can fix in an afternoon. Number 10, 2008 to 2012 Ford Escape. One independent mechanic summed up the Ford Escape like this: "It's the easiest SUV in my shop to work on. Simple layout, no surprises, and parts that don't cost a fortune." Most shoppers assume a boxy compact SUV from this era means cramped seating and a mechanical nightmare waiting to happen. Instead, the Escape delivers surprisingly generous headroom and a mechanical layout so straightforward that a weekend DIY can handle most maintenance without specialty tools. That simplicity keeps repair shop labor costs low, and parts availability keeps ownership costs low year after year. There is one thing to watch for: Escapes that spent their life in the Rust Belt often develop corrosion around the rear wheel arches, so avoid any example without a clean underbody and always get a pre-purchase inspection before handing over cash. Find a clean, rust-free example and you've got an SUV that can handle a decade of grocery runs, road trips, and winter commutes without complaint. Before we keep going, if you're finding this list useful, hit that subscribe button. We cover the cars dealerships hope you never bother researching. The next 10 include a car mechanics call the biggest reliability bargain in America, and another secretly sharing its engine with a Toyota worth twice as much. Now, back to the countdown. Tesla Cybertruck. No vehicle on this entire list has gone more viral, for all the wrong reasons, than the Tesla Cybertruck. It was sold as the future. For a lot of early adopters, it's become a cautionary tale. The raw, unpainted stainless steel body was marketed as rugged and futuristic. In reality, that exposed steel develops rust spots shockingly fast, sometimes within weeks, especially in humid or coastal climates. Then there's the mechanical side, which is arguably worse. Viral videos keep surfacing of steering-by-wire failures, where the electronically controlled steering system behaves unpredictably, and of exterior trim pieces detaching and flying off at highway speed. When your steering system and your body panels are both generating viral failure videos, that's not a branding problem, that's a fundamental build quality problem. Drivers aren't just dealing with polarizing looks anymore, they're dealing with genuine safety anxiety every time they take it on the highway. A six-figure headline-grabbing SUV that spends more time trending for failures than for innovation. If you think rust is bad, the next SUV suffered something far worse: Nissan Rogue. The Nissan Rogue built its entire reputation on being the safe and remarkable choice, America's rental fleet special. The SUV parents buy because it's supposed to be simple and dependable. That reputation fast. The core issue is Nissan's variable compression turbo engine, the VC Turbo, a genuinely clever piece of engineering on paper that has turned into a persistent, expensive money pit in the real world. Drivers report stalling, rough idling, and premature engine wear well before the vehicle should be showing any of those symptoms. Then there's the cabin. Cheap plastics that looked fine on the showroom floor start rattling and creaking after as little as 10,000 miles, turning a quiet interior into a symphony of squeaks on every commute. Consumer Reports has flagged reliability concerns on this generation repeatedly. For a vehicle bought specifically because it was supposed to be the boring, dependable option, an unreliable engine and a cabin that rattles apart within the first year is about as far from safe as you can get. Chevrolet Blazer EV. Some vehicles reviews. The Chevrolet Blazer EV got something far worse. A public do not buy label issued directly by major auto journalists. That's not a subtle warning buried in a review. That's the strongest possible red flag an outlet can raise. The reason comes down to a reliability score of just 19 out of 100, one of the worst numbers on this entire list, and the specific failure driving that score is genuinely dangerous. Drivers have reported complete infotainment blackouts, the entire center screen going dark mid-drive, taking navigation, the backup camera, and critical vehicle functions down with it. Imagine that happening on the highway, at speed, in traffic, with zero warning. That's not an inconvenience. That's a vehicle stranding its driver in the exact moment they need full control and full information the most. GM has scrambled to push software fixes, but the damage to buyer confidence was already done. The Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass exists as the cheapest way to slap that iconic 7-slot grille on your driveway, and shoppers are learning, painfully, that you get exactly what you pay for. Owner satisfaction has collapsed to just 51%, meaning roughly half the people who bought one wouldn't do it again. Essentially a coin flip on regret. The mechanical mechanical issues driving that number are serious. Severe engine oil consumption has been widely reported, engines burning through oil at a rate that requires constant monitoring between scheduled changes, a problem that often points toward deeper internal wear. Even more alarming, drivers have documented sudden electrical shutdowns while actively driving, the vehicle simply losing power without warning. That's not a check engine light you can schedule around. That's a genuine road safety hazard happening in real time, potentially in traffic or on the highway. The Jeep badge is supposed to signal rugged dependability. On the compass, it's signaling the opposite, an entry-level price tag attached to entry-level engineering and real safety risk. But nothing on this list compares to what's Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. Plug-in hybrid. This is it. The single most regretted SUV Americans bought in 2026. The Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe carries a price tag pushing $70,000, positioning it as a premium plug-in hybrid flagship. In reality, owners describe it spending more time on a dealership service lift than in their own driveway. The numbers back up every bit of that frustration. This is the undisputed king of buyer's remorse on this entire list, with a brutal 25% buy again score. That means 3 out of every 4 owners regret the purchase enough that they wouldn't repeat it on a vehicle that cost as much as a down payment on a house. The reason goes far beyond typical reliability complaints. Imagine spending nearly $70,000 only to receive a recall telling you not to park your SUV inside your own garage because of a high voltage battery fire risk. Layer on top of that widespread reports of absolute electronic chaos, dashboard warnings, soft. Number 16, 2007 to 2013 Honda Fit. A buyer admitted she almost skipped the Fit because it looked too small on paper, then changed her mind when the trunk folded flat and swallowed a full-size bike. The Fit's clever magic seat configuration folds flat in multiple ways, offering cargo capacity that genuinely rivals small SUVs, all while staying nimble enough to squeeze into the tightest city parking spaces without stress. Underneath that practicality sits Honda's typically robust mechanical foundation from this era, the same engineering DNA that's made the Civic and Accord such dependable choices already on this list. Owners routinely report minimal unscheduled repairs even as these cars rack up 6-figure mileage, and the simplicity of the drivetrain keeps average annual maintenance under $400. For city dwellers, students, or anyone who needs surprising utility out of a small footprint, this is about as close to a perfect budget hatchback as it gets. Next up, a boxy little Scion running the exact same engine as a Camry. Number 17, 2008 to 2015. Scion XB. A veteran Toyota technician joked that working on a Scion XB felt like working on a Camry that lost a bet. Same engine, completely different body. Most people see the boxy, unconventional styling and assume it's all form with no function. It's actually the opposite. That distinctive box shape exists specifically to maximize vertical cargo volume, giving you genuinely useful hauling capacity that sedans in this price range simply can't match. Powering it is the exact same reliable engine found in the Toyota Camry, which means this quirky-looking hatchback is running one of the most trusted 4-cylinder engines Toyota has ever built. The high-backed seats also deserve credit here, offering real comfort for taller drivers who usually get shortchanged in economy cars. This is a vehicle that consistently gets overlooked simply because of how it looks, while quietly delivering Camry-level mechanical trust in a much cheaper, much more practical package. Number 18, 2010 to 2015 Toyota Prius. One New York taxi company kept a Prius in service for over 400,000 miles before finally retiring it. And here's the part that shocks people. It wasn't the engine that gave out, it was the body. The hybrid drivetrain was still running strong. Skeptics assumed hybrid technology from this era would mean expensive battery failures and complicated repair bills down the road. Taxi fleets across major cities proved that assumption dead wrong, running these cars in some of the harshest daily use conditions imaginable. Fuel economy easily clears 48 miles per gallon in combined driving, which means the savings at the pump alone can offset a meaningful chunk of the purchase price over just a few years of ownership. The one thing every buyer needs to check before purchasing is the condition of the hybrid battery pack. A full replacement can run $2,000 or more, so confirm it's either been tested recently or already replaced. Handle that one check and you're driving one of the most field-tested reliable cars ever built. Number 19, 2007 to 2011 Toyota Camry. Here's a stat worth sitting with. Some high-mileage Camry taxis and fleet vehicles from this generation have crossed 400,000 miles with nothing more than oil changes and basic wear items. The Camry has been the default answer to what car should I buy if I just want it to work for longer than most other nameplates on this list have even existed, and that reputation is backed by real mechanical substance, not just marketing. Four-cylinder models from this generation consistently deliver the best overall balance of reliability, efficiency, and low running costs, making them the smart pick over the V6 for anyone prioritizing long-term dependability. There is one thing worth checking before you buy. Avoid 2007 through 2009 models with no documented oil top-offs, since that generation is known for oil consumption issues that can lead to expensive engine work down the road. Beyond that one checkpoint, you're looking at a car engineered specifically to disappear into the background of your life in the best possible way. But there's one nameplate on this list even more bulletproof than the Camry, and it's about to take the top spot. Number 20, 2007 to 2013. Toyota Corolla. And that brings us to number 1, the single most bulletproof car on this entire list, the Toyota Corolla. Mechanics across the country have called this 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine impossible to kill, a drivetrain so overbuilt it shrugs off delayed oil changes and skipped maintenance in a way that would leave most other engines stranded on the side of the road. This is a car that regularly outlives luxury sedans costing 5 times more, not because it's flashy, but because there's simply less to go wrong, and what's there was engineered to last. Yearly maintenance costs are exceptionally low, often under $500 total, and any independent mechanic in the country can service one blindfolded. On top of all that mechanical trust, the Corolla holds its resale value remarkably well, which means even years down the road, you're not watching your investment evaporate the way you would with most budget cars. This is the car people buy once and then simply forget to think about because it just keeps working year after year, mile after mile. So there you have it, 20 cars, all under $8,000, proving that real reliability is still out there if you know exactly where to look. The pattern is clear: simple engineering, proven drivetrains, and a little bit of research before you buy beats chasing the newest, flashiest option every single time. Now here's a real question: if you had $8,000 to spend tomorrow, which one of these 20 would you buy? And which car do you think should have made this list? Let us know in the comments, then subscribe, because in our next video we're exposing the cars that look reliable but are secretly draining owners' bank accounts. You won't want to miss it.